If there is one writer on the Dungeon Masters Guild that is the absolute king of creepy carnival horror type adventures, it must be Jeff C. Stevens. He has written Happy Jack's Funhouse, he has written Annalise's Revenge, and right now he comes with a toy shop crawling creepy adventure with a really weird monkey and a mechanic in there that I think you should really see. Hi there, fellow Dungeons & Dragons players and Dungeon Masters. I am Mr. Tarask, and this is your go-to YouTube channel for everything third-party Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition related, reviews, previews, flip-throughs, whatever. If you want to support me, make sure to click the subscribe button. It means a lot for a small YouTuber like me. Or if you really want to see me continue what I'm doing, make sure to go to my Patreon page, where you can play with me as a player, play with me as a Dungeon Master, get in my Discord. My Discord is, by the way, open for everybody. Make sure to join that if you want to chat. Let's get to it. Blinsky's Toy Shop, another adventure, another PDF by Jeff C. Stevens and Remley Farr. It is just something I wanted to share with you guys because I think it's another one of those crazy things by Jeff C. Stevens. He is one of my favorite writers on the guild at this moment, and I just want to run you through the premise of this thing really quick because I think it's super original, super cool. Basically, they set it in after the vampire Strahd was defeated, so they set it in that kind of thing, but this is just plug and play anywhere. I would put it somewhere else, but basically there's this dude called Blinsky who is a toy maker in Valiki, and after Strahd was defeated, Blinsky kinda he bought an island because one of the adventurers that bought a toy from him actually went on retirement and left everything to Blinsky, and Blinsky was able to sell a lot of the stuff, and he got a lot of like gems and money, but also like very cool magic items, and he sold some of them, and he now had money to buy an island just off the shore of the city of Valaki, and he built like this small castle type toy shop there, and it was filled with all kinds of weird like toys, all kinds of magical objects, weird stuff, and people were able to just go to rent the boat, go over to the toy shop, buy some toys, and come back to the shore. And it was just fun and games every night. He had fireworks coming off of the island, so people on the shore could actually see the fireworks. There was always like laughing. There was always like very cool and very beautiful organ music playing, all that jazz. He got everything going for him. He had like one of the most famous toy shops ever. But one of the items, which was actually a what do you call it? I have to like a tiara. One of those tiaras, one of those princess crowny tiara things, was one of the magical items, and it was kind of like a toy tiara. But it was possessed. It was possessed by a gnome wizard called Strange. Yes, Aribetha Strange. And this wizard was able to, if somebody put the crown, like the tiara, on his head, he could possess that person or that creature. And the problem now is that this monkey you see on the cover is wearing a crown. Yes, it is wearing a crown. It is wearing that particular tiara, and as you can see, it is not in a good mood. It is just there's all kinds of stuff going on, and this person who's now controlling Tiara actually kidnapped Blinsky, and he kidnapped like everybody who's in there, and all the toys came to life. So it's kind of a Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium meets Toy Story meets Dungeons and Dragons meets Curse of Strahd meets weird carnival type horror things. And it's not the adventure I really want to talk about because that is the premise. So basically, the premise is the adventurers, like, there's a bunch of kids with a nanny that went into that toy shop, and they didn't came back. The nanny didn't come back. The children didn't come back. So yeah, the children are now stuck there, and the nanny is stuck somewhere in the tower because the nanny actually ran away while everything was coming to life. She left the children behind and tried to make a run for it, but she didn't succeed because she was kidnapped, she was captured. Everything is really weird. And other than that, it's just a very cool and very original dungeon crawl. Like, I will not ever go too deep into these modules. I will not give away every secret for this adventure because I think although you guys are watching this are probably dungeon masters, and you're probably interested in like the entire thing. Reading through it and being surprised as a dungeon master, for me personally, is part of the fun. So it's really important that, I think it's really important that you read through it yourself and just notice some of the oddities that are in there. I'm just gonna check real quick if I'm still recording. Yes, I'm still recording. So every now and then it just stops recording. I don't know why it does that, but anyway, let's get to it. There is these hooks. There is a bunch of NPCs, which are children that are being captured. There's Blinsky, the toy maker. There is the nanny. There is an old Henry who is a fisherman, who can provide transportation to the island. All that jazz is in there. Everything you need to run the adventure is in there, and then it's actually very beautifully well mapped. Personally, I think this is a really cool, colorful map. I can probably zoom. No, I cannot zoom in at this point. Anyway, it is a cool map of the toy shop itself. As you can see, there is the toy shop itself in the front. There, it is on a small island, just big enough to house like this castle. Then in the back there is Blinsky's quarters. There are some workshops in there where people create new magic items. For example, there is actually 2 NPCs. Kip and Wingo, gnome brothers slackers who have been dodging work to the point where they have no idea the toy shop is in an uprising. They designed the boom gun prototype. I'm sorry. So yeah, there's those kinds of NPCs that work in the shop trying to dodge work, like some workers do, especially gnomes. There's this. I think this artwork is really cool. It kind of shows the creepiness of it. At first glance, it's just a black and white picture of the entrance of Blinsky's toy shop of miracles. But then there is this creepy doll right here in the bottom left hand corner, and there another creepy doll. And if I hate one thing about creepy horror, it is always dolls. I really hate dolls. I cannot stand dolls. Now, there's an entire run-through of the adventure. There's all kinds of oddities going on there, and I do not want to spoil them. I just want to, your players basically can go anywhere they want. From the moment they enter, they can go through the toy shop, they can go to the left door, to the right door, check out some of the magic items, check out some of the stuff, and there is a mechanic here that I really like, and that is costumes. There are costumes in this toy shop that you can don, or doff if you want, that all have magical properties. But the thing is, these costumes actually, you become the costume if you put it on. For example, there's a Flumph costume, which turns you into a Flumph, which is a weird creature that has tentacles. You put this costume on. This artwork, by the way, is great. It looks like one of those children's things you put over your head, and then you play it. But you actually become it. You get those powers. You get those stuff. You become that stat block for as long as you donned the armor. And for this particular armor, if you try to doff the costume, which is doffing means just taking it off. Roll a d6 on a result of 5 or 6. The zipper becomes stuck and you cannot remove the costume without assistance. If assisted, the creature must succeed on a DC 10 strength check or to successfully unstuck the zipper. So if you're trying to doff it in combat, it takes 1 minute to doff it, by the way, because it's like one of those big costumes with probably all kinds of parts and zippers, and you need to get in it. Like, it's one of those big things, and it takes 1 minute. So if you're trying to do this in combat or whatever, or when somebody is coming closer and you quickly want to get out of it, you have to roll a d6, and if you roll a 5 or a 6, you're unable to, and which is really cool. And you get like these tendrils attacks, you get like a stench spray, all that stuff, dexterity saving throw, or you be coated in a smelling liquid, which lasts 24 hours. You get an owlbear costume, which looks really, really, really good. Same thing, 5 or 6, the zipper becomes stuck. As you can see, it is a long zipper from top to bottom, one of those suits, almost like one of those people that work like in baseball games, mascot type things, but then just the creepy version of mascot type. So you become an owlbear of challenge rated 2. So you don't become a real big ass owlbear, but you could become an owlbear. You get like the keen sight, you get the beak attack, the claw attack, the multi attack. You get all that jazz from being in the costume. And that is actually what I like so much about this adventure. It is this mechanic. It is a simple mechanic. There is a costume, a fireball costume. Yes, there is a fireball costume, which has an ability, which is called Terminal Flare. Each creature in a 15-foot radius sphere originating from you must succeed in distance dexterity saving or be enlightened in flame, suffering 14 or 46 fire damage on a failed save. Basically, a small fireball, and you're in that costume of fireball. I think it's awesome that you can. Who comes up with that stuff? I mean, yeah, Jesse Stevens and friends who I've forgotten his name, Remley Farr, they came up with it. So, yeah, it is cool. There's other stuff in here. Also, there's an NPC who is an awakened dog, like one of those small funny dogs, one of those small little critters. They're also written here in the NPC. So it's that kind of stuff that you can expect from a. Let me see if I can get like a monkey, Piccolo, Blinsky. I cannot find him right now, but anyway, he is in here somewhere. There is an NPC who's basically a dog. There's all kinds of creepiness going on. There's all kinds of magic items to be found. These are, by the way, like toy soldiers who became bigger and are now alive and are now the guard for the last area your players can go in. There is the boom gun, which actually comes back in different adventures of Jesse Stevens. I know I saw this thing, so it's kind of something that came back. So there are magic items. There's a dino pad, which is a small construct. I don't know what I'm saying right now. It is a great little adventure. By the way, since we're doing this, Adventures from the Pod-Bodied Kobold is right here behind me. I don't know if you can see it. Let me check my camera. It's right here behind me. He sent one copy to me. Jesse Stevens, thank you so much for sending it to me. And I'm reviewing it probably this week, maybe next week when I get to it. I just really want to check it out first. And yeah, that's Blinsky's Toy Shop. A creepy, vicious monkey that wears a crown possessed by a gnome, and now the gnome possessed the monkey, and it's not good news for the toy shop. Children are being captured. A nanny is being captured. Toys have come to life and are now like really, really dangerous, and your players have to go through a toy shop with all weird sounds and weird music and weird atmosphere, and they're trying to survive it. And let me know if you ever played it or if you are ever planning on playing through it. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next PDF Tuesday.